Seima David Aoyama.
And my grandfather, Edward Joseph Papa. Grandpa Eddie, although I never got a chance to meet you, we share many of the same interests. Not only do we share the same name, but I also love to play golf. I also love the Mets and playing baseball just like you did. People always tell me we share the same smile and happy energy. I wish I could have met you, and I hope you're all making you proud.
And my dad, Stephen Francis Schlag. I love him and miss him as ever. All the years combine, they melt into a dream. Life is good, it's 88 and sunny.
Peter Paul Apollo.
Faustino Apostol Jr.
Frank Thomas Aquilino.
Patrick Michael Araños.
David Gregory Archer.
Michael George Archensky.
Louis Arena.
Barbara Jean Aristide.
Adam P. Arias.
Michael J. Armstrong.
Jack Charles Aaron.
Joshua Todd Aaron.
Richard Avery Arno.
Myra Joy Aronson.
Japhet Jesse Aria.
Carl Francis Asaro.
Michael A. Ajiak.
Michael Edward Asher.
Janice Marie Ashley.
Thomas J. Ashton.
Manuel O. Asidimbe.
Greg A. Atlas.
Gerald Thomas Atwood.
James Otterfred.
Louis F. Aversano Jr.
Ezra Avillas.
Sandy Ayala.
Arlene T. Babakitis.
Eustace R. Bacchus.
John J. Badakliaka.
Jane Ellen Basler.
Robert J. Bearwalter.
Andrew J. Bailey.
Brett T. Bailey.
Garnet Ace Bailey.
Tatiana Bakalinskaya.
Michael S. Baksh.
Sharon M. Balcom.
Michael Andrew Bain.
Catherine Bantis.
And my uncle, firefighter Jimmy Riches. Uncle Jimmy, we talk about you all the time and how you sound so amazing. I wish I could have met you, and I know you were cheering me on at all of my cheerleading competitions and watching over our whole family. We all know when we see a dragonfly, it's your way of saying hello to us. We will always remember you. God bless America.
And with endless love, appreciation, and admiration, my brother, FDNY Captain William O'Keefe.
Gerard Baptiste.
Walter Barron.
Gerard A. Barbara.
Paul Vincent Barbero.
James William Barbella.
Colleen Ann Barco.
Christine Jonna Barbuto.
Victor Daniel Barbosa.
David Michael Barkway.
Firefighter Matthew Barnes.
Melissa Rose Barnes.
Sheila Patricia Barnes.
Evan J. Barron.
Renee Barrett Arjun.
Arthur Thaddeus Berry.
Diane G. Berry.
Maurice Vincent Berry.
Scott D. Bart.
Carlton W. Bartels.
Guy Barbsey.
Ina B. Bassina.
Alyssa Christine Burton Bosmajan.
Kenneth William Beznicki.
Lieutenant Firefighter Stephen Joseph Bates.
Paul James Taglia.
W. David Bauer.
Ivan Luis Carpio Bautista.
Marlene Capito Bautista,
Mark Lawrence Bavis,
Jasper Baxter,
Lorraine G. Bay,
Michelle Beal,
Todd M. Beamer,
Paul Frederick Bettini,
Jane S. Beatty,
Alan Anthony Bevan,
Lawrence Ira Beck,
Manette Marie Beckles,
Carl John Bedigian,
Michael Ernest Beekman,
and my grandfather Carl W. Tepe. I hear many stories about him every day. Some make me laugh and some make me cry, but every story inspires me. Although I was never fortunate enough to meet my grandfather, he is my hero. I see parts of him in my everyday life, such as the color red, his favorite color.
Graham Andrew Berkeley,
Michael J. Berkeley,
Donna M. Bernhardt,
David W. Bernard,
William H. Bernstein,
David M. Bray,
David Shelby Berry,
Joseph John Berry,
William Reed Bethke,
Yanene Beatru,
Timothy D. Betterly,
Carolyn Mayer Bug,
Edward Frank Baye,
Paul Michael Bear,
Anil Tahalram Belvrani,
Bella J. Buchan,
Shimi D. Bigliason,
Peter Alexander Bielfeld,
William G. Bigart,
Brian Eugene Bilcher,
Mark Bingham,
Carl Vincent Beanie,
and my brother, Joseph Michael Giacconi. 23 years is like 23 seconds. On September 11th, my brother disappeared. But this place has become my altar. And this ceremony is essential. Because that day he disappeared, but if I come here and I speak his name out loud and you hear his name, he will never, never disappear. We love you and thank you.
and my great. And my grandfather, FDNY Captain James J. Corrigan. We love you so much and we miss you so much. Me and my three sisters wish we got to meet you.
Gary Eugene Bird,
Joshua David Birnbaum,
George John Bishop,
Chris Romeo Bushundat,
Jeffrey Donald Bittner,
Albert Belela Blackman Jr.,
Christopher Joseph Blackwell,
Carrie Rosetta Blackburn,
Susan Leigh Blair,
Harry Blanding Jr.,
Janice Lee Blaney,
Craig Michael Blass,
Rita Blau,
Richard Middleton Blood Jr.,
Michael Andrew Bacardi,
John Paul Bocci,
Michael L. Bocchino,
Susan M. Bocchino,
Dira Francis Bodley,
Bruce Douglas Bone,
Mary Catherine Murphy Bofa,
Nicholas Andrew Bogdan,
Darren Christopher Bohan,
Lawrence Francis Bousseau,
Vincent M. Bolin Jr.,
Turi Hamzavi Belorchi,
Alan Bondarenko,
Andre Bonaire Jr.,
Colin Arthur Bonnet,
Frank J. Bonomo,
Yvonne Lucia Bonamo,
Susan Booker Sr.,
Kelly Ann Booms,
Campbell D. Boone,
Mary Jane Booth,
Sherry Ann Boudreau,
Christine Bordanabe,
Jerry J. Borg,
Martin Michael Borashevsky,
Richard Edward Bosco,
and my uncle Kenneth Joseph Marino, who was a firefighter with FDNY Rescue 1 in Manhattan. He was one of the first responders on that day. I am 12 years old, so I never met my uncle Kenny, but I feel like I know him from my parents, grandparents, and family members. One thing I learned is that my Uncle Kenny and I share a love of baseball. Our favorite player is Ken Griffey Jr., and I'm very happy and proud that we have the same interests. But most important is that my Uncle Kenny was a true hero. He saved many lives on that day. Our family misses him every day, and we will never forget his memory or his bravery.
my cousin Matthew Carmen Solito. Matthew, neither you nor the thousands who perished on 9/11 will ever be forgotten. What is being forgotten is the 9/11 experience by every other American. I ask you today to speak to your children and your grandchildren who weren't born on 9/11. Tell them what you went through, tell them to never forget what your family went through on 9/11.
Klaus Botha,
Carol Marie Bouchard,
J. Howard Bolton,
Francisco Eligio Bourdier,
Thomas Harold Bowden Jr.,
Donna M. Bowen,
Kimberly S. Bowers,
Veronique Nicole Bowers,
Larry Bowman,
Sean Edward Bauman Jr.,
Kevin L. Bowser,
Gary R. Box,
Gennady Boyarsky,
Pamela Boyce,
Alan P. Boyle,
Michael Boyle,
Alfred J. Braca,
Sandra Konate Brace,
Kevin Hugh Bracken,
Sandy Waugh Bradshaw,
David Brian Brady,
Alexander Berginski,
Nicholas W. Brandemarty,
Daniel Raymond Brandhorst,
David Reed Gamboa Brandhorst,
Michelle Renee Bratton,
Patrice Brout,
Lydia Estelle Bravo,
Donald Michael Breitweiser,
Edward A. Brennan III,
Frank H. Brennan,
Michael E. Brennan,
Peter Brennan,
Thomas Moore Brennan,
Daniel J. Brethel,
Gary Lee Bright,
Jonathan Eric Briley,
Mark A. Risman,
Paul Gary Bristow,
Marion R. Britton,
and my father, William Ralph Robb. Dad, we only got 6 years together, but I have nothing but the happiest memories, and every day I remember how lucky and how proud I am to be your daughter. Me, Mom, and Liam love and miss you so much.
and my mother, Imelda H. Perry. My mother was a beacon of kindness, wisdom, elegance, and grace. Her love was unconditional. Her spirit was indomitable. Along with my brother and my sister, we cherish the memories that you taught us. And even though you are not here with us, your memories will continue to live in our hearts and guide our actions. Thank you.
Mark Francis Broderick,
Herman Charles Brockhammer,
Keith A. Broomfield,
Bernard C. Brown II,
Janice J. Louis Brown,
Lloyd Stanford Brown,
Patrick John Brown,
Bettina B. Brown Radburn,
Mark Bruce,
Richard George Bruhert,
Andrew Brunn,
Vincent Edward Brunton,
Ronald Buca,
Brandon J. Buchanan,
Greg J. Buck,
Dennis Buckley,
John Edward Boluga Jr.,
Patrick Joseph Boos,
Christopher L. Burford,
Stephen Bruce Bunin,
Thomas Daniel Burke,
Matthew J. Burke,
Charles F. Burlingame III,
William Francis Burke Jr.,
Donald J. Burns,
Thomas E. Burnett Jr.,
Keith James Burns,
Kathleen Ann Burns,
Irina Buslow,
John Patrick Burnside,
Thomas M. Butler,
Milton G. Bustillo,
Timothy G. Byrne,
Patrick Dennis Byrne,
Jesus Neptali Cabezas,
Daniel M. Caballero,
Brian Joseph Cachia,
Lillian Casieres,
and my brother Robert Talhami. Your family and I love you and miss you so much. For the love you had for good food and wine, your good friend Peter Donovan and I have not missed a dinner in your honor for the last 23 years. Robert, my little brother, I know we will meet again. Until then, I love you and think of you every day.
and my uncle, James Bryan Riley. We love you and miss you so much, Uncle Jimmy. Even though I've never met you, I've heard so many stories about you to the point where it feels like I've known you for my whole life. You're a role model to me, and your kindness inspires me and the rest of our family to be the best people that we can be.
Richard Michael Caggiano,
Cecile Morella Kaluka,
John Brett Cahill,
Michael John Cahill,
Scott Walter Cahill,
Thomas Joseph Cahill,
George C. Kane,
Salvatore B. Cabral,
Joseph M. Calandrello,
Philip V. Catalano,
Edward Calderon,
Jose O. Calderon Omeda,
Kenneth Marcus Caldwell,
Dominic E. Cali,
Felix Bobby Calixte,
Francis Joseph Callahan,
Liam Callahan,
Suzanne M. Callie,
Gino Luigi Calvi,
Rocco Kamaj,
Michael F. Camarata,
David O.T. Campbell,
Jeffrey Thomas Campbell,
Robert Arthur Campbell,
Sandra Patricio Campbell,
Sean Thomas Canavan,
John A. Candela,
Vincent A. Canalanzos,
Stephen J. Cangelosi,
Lisa Bella Canava,
Brian Canizaro,
Michael R. Canty,
Luis Anthony Caparisi,
Jonathan Neff Capello,
James Christopher Carpes,
Richard Michael Caproni,
Jose Manuel Cardona,
Dennis M. Carey Sr.,
Edward Calino,
Michael Scott Carlo,
and my brother Emmanuel Akwesi Afuaka. You are a hero. May your soul and all departed souls keep resting in peace. And it's my prayer that this wicked act called terrorism will never occur again in the United States. God bless America.
and my father, Lieutenant Kenneth John Fallon Sr. Dad, we miss you, including your wife Patty, your children, Aaron, Danny, Kenny, and your grandchildren, Kendall, Kyle, and Callie Mae. I just want to be honored to be here and to wear your badge number as a police officer, and my brother as well, wearing your badge number as a fire department. God bless all the 9/11 families. Thank you.
David G. Carlone,
Rosemary C. Carlson,
Mark Stephen Carney,
Joyce Ann Carpenetto,
Jeremy Kaz Carrington,
Michael T. Carroll,
Peter J. Carroll,
James Joseph Carson Jr.,
Christopher Mikhail Karstinijan,
Angeline C. Carter,
James Marcel Cartier,
Sharon Ann Carver,
Vivian Casaldick,
John Francis Casaza,
Paul Reagan Cassio,
Neely Ann Heffernan Casey,
William Joseph Cashman,
Thomas Anthony Casoria,
William Otto Casper,
Alejandro Castaño,
Arcelio Castillo,
Leonard M. Castriano,
Jose Ramon Castro,
William E. Coswell,
Richard G. Catarelli,
Christopher Sean Caton,
Robert John Caulfield,
Mary Teresa Caulfield,
Judson Cavalier,
Michael Joseph Cawley,
Jason David Kane,
Juan Armando Ceballos,
Marcia G. Cecil Carter,
Jason Michael Cephalou,
Thomas Joseph Cecil,
Anna Mercedes Centeno,
Joni Sesta,
John J. Chada,
Jeffrey Mark Chernoff,
Swarna Chalasani,
and my cousin Gary M. Albero. Even though it's been 23 years, we hold your memory strong. Your love of family, meatballs, and of course the Yankees. We miss you every day and hope you're having a blast up there with Dad and Grandma and the rest of the family. And of course, God bless America.
and my sister Catherine McGarry Nowak. We miss you a lot.
William A. Chalkoff.
Eli Chalua.
Charles Lawrence Chan.
Mandy Chang.
Rosa Maria Chapa.
Mark Lawrence Charette.
David M. Charlebois.
Gregorio Manuel Chavez.
Pedro Francisco Checo.
Douglas Macmillan Cherry.
Stephen Patrick Cherry.
Vernon Paul Cherry.
Nestor Julio Chevalier.
Swede Joseph Chevalier.
Alexander H. Chiang.
Dorothy J. Chicharo.
Luis Alfonso Chimbo.
Robert Chin.
Eddie Wing Wei Ching.
Nicholas Paul Chofalo.
John G. Chipora.
Peter A. Chicharillo.
Catherine Ellis Cheers.
Kyung Hee Casey Cho.
Abul K. Chowdhury.
Mohammed Salahuddin Chowdhury.
Kirsten Lael Christoph.
Pamela Chu.
Stephen Paul Chupnik.
Wei Ching Chung.
Christopher Chiafardini.
Alex F. Ciccone.
Francis Ann Salente.
Elaine Silo.
Edna Cintrone.
Nestor Andre Cintron III.
Robert D. Siri Sr.
Juan Pablo Cisneros.
Benjamin Keith Clark.
Eugene Clark.
And my father, FDNY Battalion Chief Oreo Joseph Palmer. A month from today, I'm getting married, and I'll be saving a seat for you and for Mom. Dana, Keith, and I are so proud to be your children.
And my uncle, Salvatore F. Pepe. Sal, the entire family misses you. I hope you see how well your son, little Sal, has turned out. Kathy has done an amazing job. We miss you. We'd love to have you around. We know and that you're looking out for us. So thank you for being our guardian angel.
Gregory Allen Clark.
Manny Leroy Clark.
Sarah M. Clark.
Thomas R. Clark.
Christopher Robert Clark.
Donna Marie Clark.
Michael J. Clark.
Saria Rachel Emma Clark.
Kevin Francis Cleary.
James D. Clear.
Jeffrey W. Cloud.
Susan Marie Klein.
Stephen Coakley.
Jeffrey Allen Cole.
Patricia A. Cody.
Daniel Michael Coffey.
Jason Matthew Coffey.
Florence G. Cohen.
Kevin S. Cohen.
Anthony Joseph Coladonato.
Mark Joseph Caleo.
Stephen J. Caleo.
Christopher Michael Colasanti.
Kevin Nathaniel Colbert.
Michelle P. Colbert.
Keith E. Coleman.
Scott Thomas Coleman.
Terrell Coleman.
Liam Joseph Cahoon.
Robert D. Colon.
Robert J. Call.
Jean Marie Collin.
John Michael Collins.
Michael L. Collins.
Thomas Joseph Collins.
Joseph Kent Collison.
Jeffrey Dwayne Coleman.
Patricia Malaya Kolodner.
Linda M. Cologne.
Saul E. Cologne.
And my